Hi, everybody. Happy HBK Wellness Wednesday. Master trainer and wellness enthusiast Kiona Leah back with you guys again for another of our tips for your wellness on a Wednesday. So I really struggled this week to think of something that would work nicely for you guys and kind of fit into our HBK basics theme of the week. And I thought, well, one of the basics when it comes to your exercise regimen really is just consistency, consistency, consistency. And that is definitely the thing that we all struggle with, yours truly included. So here are a couple of my favorite tips on how to stay consistent. One of which is a new gadget I just got for Christmas. Not so much to count my steps, because with the T-TAP method, counting steps is not the greatest way to figure out how much calories you've burned and how much activity you've had. But it is a great tool because it's got a reminder setting that goes off every couple hours to remind me to get up and move. So if I've been sedentary, I can do that. It also tracks sleep, which is what actually attracted me to these little gadgets, was the fact that it was motivating the man in my life to go to bed at a more decent hour. It's really hard in the world of everything when you're a night owl like the two of us are. And so he started using his fitness tracker, and it would remind him, it's time for bed, it's time for bed. And he would go ahead and go to bed, which was very cool and attracted me tremendously. But I just turned on the reminder feature today. A lot of my students have been setting themselves up to do multiple sets of hoedowns each day. And of course, we're doing them in intervals. And I decided that sounds like a great idea, something low impact, and I can go ahead and do that. So first thing this morning, I did a set of hoedowns with the rest of my floor workout, stood up and finished it, and then said, I'll do it at lunch, and then I'll do this, and I'll do that. And then, of course, got so busy with work, didn't even think about it until 4, 5, almost the end of my workday. That's when I set the reminders on my watch. But what if you don't have one of these fitness trackers? Here's another little thing that I use actually on my work computer to help me with focus when I get overwhelmed. And that is, I will use an alternating timer. If I'm really overwhelmed and I'm really struggling and having a hard time, I will set my alternating timer for about 15 minutes. And then I will set it for an additional 5. So I'm kind of going in 20-minute increments. I will be focused for 15 minutes. And then if I get overwhelmed, that I can't do this, it's too much, it's too much, it's too much. It's just a couple of those double breaths I talked about last week in our Wellness Wednesday. And I keep moving going. It's only 15 minutes until you get to actually take a break. So you're conscious about your breaks. You can use something similar to set a little timer, or just put little reminders in your calendar for work to get up and move around. What are your favorite exercises you want to do? Do you want to take laps around your office or your house or your yard, depending on where you are and where you work? Do you want to do a set of hoedowns? Do you want to do a set of step lift, which is what we did on Walking Wednesday? And yes, we can. Do you have other moves that you really love to do? Comment below and tell me what they are, because I would love to see everybody else's suggestions on how you're doing that. This is a great way to help keep yourself accountable in very small increments. And here was the other big bonus that I had, because unfortunately at 5 o'clock, I still was not ready to leave. I still had another couple hours of work left to do. The other nice thing about, even though it had been way more hours than I wanted to remember to get up and move, what I did manage to do was I did make myself do it. I did an odd set of hoedowns, which means I didn't do the normal cadence, but what a difference it made in my brain. Do not ever neglect to remember that movement is one of the best hormone balancers and mood balancers we can get, especially when you do these little things. And I find that it's actually a good double-edged sword in a major way. The first, of course, is the actual benefit of the movement itself and balancing the hormones, especially obviously a move like hoedowns that balances hormones anyway. But all movement will help move and circulate those hormones, move and circulate that cortisol, drop blood sugar levels. It just depends on at what level, and really give you a good benefit as you're doing them. That can make a major difference. But here's the other big thing that I find from an emotional, personal, and goal perspective that it really helps me with. And that is, you know, you did something good for you. And that alone is a brain booster right there. I talked a lot last week about that long, amazing lecture, and I linked it last week. I'll link it again as well, where it talks about doing things like that will actually help with your mood. They really talked about, rather than go from emotion, response, thought, and then into action, to help enhance our mental, emotional health, we can go the other way. And it actually frequently is being found in studies to be more powerful to just change your behavior. And that will help precipitate changes in thoughts, changes in moods, and changes at that response level. So it's really interesting, and it's something I'm playing with right now, which is why having these little reminders is really key for me, because I'm working on changing the behavior, the action, just get up and move and seeing what happens. But I'll tell you what, I have known for a very long time that when I get up and I do my routine first thing in the morning, I don't put it off until the evening, I emotionally feel better all day, because I know I started my day taking care of me. And then no matter what else happens throughout the day, I have been taken care of in that way. And these little breaks are more little doses of that. And that lecture goes really in depth about the hormonal distinctions and balances that actually can create in your body as well, that will help enhance your moods. So check it out. I'll link it again below. I don't remember where in the lecture it was. I want to say somewhere around the first hour. Between the first hour and the first hour and a half is where he talks about that in detail. I haven't reviewed it enough to have all the timestamps in place. I'm still trying to absorb a lot of that wonderful information. But these are ways that moves matter for your mood. All right, you guys, what do you want to talk about next week? This week, I've been doing a lot of research and listening on vitamin D3. There have been some amazing studies that have come out over the last several months in how it is useful for COVID, aside from the flu, which we already knew about, and other things. I believe I've talked about D before, but if you're interested, let me know that as well. I'm happy to go over it next week as we kick off 2021. Don't forget, subscribe, and share. And in the meantime, I'm Keona Leah. I want to see you move, live, and thrive. So I'll see you on the next one.